What a joy that you have found us for this podcast. How exciting it is to think that this spiritual message is going out to people around this planet. Whether your life is working at a peak level or whether it can use some enhancement, have I got the message for you today. So get a piece of paper, get ready to take notes, call a friend, have them watch this podcast also. Then you too can have something to talk about and take it to a deeper level. So enjoy. Here we go. Hey, good morning, Seaside. Oh, what a joy it is to be with you on this Mother's Day, this wonderful Mother's Day, in a sanctuary that has a brand new blue wall. What do you think? Hey! They're thinking of changing and painting, and so we went into Seaside's new referral club and found Andy McCartney. Andy, thank you so much for coming out here and gifting us with your time, your energy. It is beautiful. What a beautiful thing. A member steps up, like that, and it's good. So you need some work at my house, but I'll pay you. So, oh wow. So let's see. Mother's Day. I love Mother's Day because it really gives me an opportunity to just sit down and reflect about Mom. And my mom, who's not physically in this world anymore, still alive in my heart for sure. Just be able to take that time and to remember those times we shared, those memories that were alive, and just it is wonderful. And it also leads me to think about how deep her love was. Now that I have got my own little guy, Trevor, 7 years old, I can begin to possibly fathom the depth of her love. Until I had my own guy, I didn't have a concept of how deep Mom's love really is. Oh my goodness. And as I come to experience more of that, I truly believe that's like the closest God expression that we have in this world, that unconditional, pure, unadulterated love that just is there. It is so good. And yesterday I had a wedding, and after the wedding I came home and found Trevor asleep. He had fallen asleep in his little fort underneath his bed. And I just sat there looking at him, watching him breathe. And I thought about our day, and all of a sudden I began to realize some of my choices may not have been what I would choose again if I had the opportunity. I mean, he came in early in the morning. I was working on my message for today, and he came into my office, went behind the desk, grabbed my hand, and he said, "Daddy, pancake house. Let's go pancake house." I tried to explain to him, I'm working on a talk about love, son. And then getting him dressed, I'm thinking he should be able to dress himself by this point in his life, but the least he could do is help put his feet in. And, I feel this frustration that grows in me, and then cleaning up his mess after lunch, and then finally a little window in the afternoon to put together the Mother's Day present we got for Callie, an outdoor patio set with like 1 million pieces, nuts, bolts, directions all over, and the wind's blowing, and I finally got it all laid out, and Trevor wants to go swimming now. And it's like, not now, go play, And so he's in the house setting up his cars and carrying on. I don't know what he's yakking about, but he's just carrying on in this jovial kind of place. Finally he sat down and watched me. And so as I was just picking him up last night and putting him in bed and tucking him in, just giving him, because I was just like, wow, gosh, I wish I had that day to live over again. I would have chosen maybe to jump in the pool right then, here he was, and I was just caught up in my adultness, my important things I have to get done in my life. And here's this little Buddha teaching me, to come play, and I couldn't see it. If I could just go back and live yesterday again, I just apologized, to him, and just, there's my son, my friend, my little buddy, and I let him down, and he's just so resilient. So it's like, sometimes I'm excited when he goes to bed, finally get a break in the day. But yet I watch him sleep, and I can't wait for him to wake up again. It's like, come on, wake up, let's get going. And so I haven't seen him yet. I can't wait for him to come walking through the door. I'm going to go, son, let's play today. I want to laugh with you. I want to read the book. Let's go swim. And even if the sun's not out, I just can't wait to get back at it. And I think, these kind of son things that I'm doing, that I can dress him well makes Callie love me more now, That I am, my ability of grilled cheese sandwiches, I know is a turn on to Callie these days. and all of a sudden, you begin to love your partner in ways 10 years ago you may never have thought was romantic. But, that's kind of what happens that when that parenting thing goes on in life. And I just can't help but to wonder, what the power of love, what it does. And that's what gives us equal access to the infinite, is that love. And, just getting to apply it in real life, I think about these Zen masters who go off and retreat. How are they really when they get home with their partner and their kids? I don't know if you think about those kind of things, but what is that Christian mystic who's been locked up in his little cloister all the time? How does he act when he goes to the grocery store, when he goes shopping? I know after ecstasy, they say the laundry. After honeymoon comes the marriage. After your spiritual connection, I've come to recognize and believe that what is important is to be able to apply it in our real everyday life where it matters. It's not about running off to these exotic spots to meditate in a monastery or some altered states of spiritual awareness. It is how I am being here and now with my son or with my children or with my partner or with the people in my life. Am I able to bring forth and be that conduit for that unconditional love of God to be manifest with what I'm doing in my life, is what I think it's kind of about. We're part of a system, and we have equal access to that infinite expression of God. It's through love. We're part of a system that works. I know it works because my body, the heart pumps without me thinking about it. My lungs breathe. The planets go around the sun. I got nothing to do with that. You put a seed in the ground and it turns into a flower somehow. An embryo turns into a baby. There is this natural order of things that I have nothing to do with. But what I come to recognize more and more is that I am an integral part of that. When I am willing to let go of my need to do, and I allow myself to be an expression, I step into that wonderful flow and recognize that intelligence that keeps these galaxies in order is the same intelligence that is moving through my being. It is called love. It is an unconditional love, a love that I do not need to win. It is not a love I do not need to beg for. It is a power, a life force that is just as strong as that maternal love of a mom for her child, and even greater, that is there for me when I am able to remember my wholeness, when I'm able to remember who I truly am. And it is anyone can access. The access is equal, but it is through love that works. But I've got to trust this power. I've got to trust this power and have faith. A faith that is not blind. A faith is visionary. It's a faith that the universe, it's a friendly place. It's a faith that the presence of God works here through me. I see it in the children's authentic expression. I watch those little kids. They are authentically expressing themselves until they try to. And then something happens. I watch our children up at the Wisdom for Life school. They are so cooperative. They help each other. They build a garden together. They build tree houses together. They pull Trevor's little bag up the street in the morning for him. They are there. At what point does cooperation turn to competition? That all of a sudden we give up the synthesis for analysis. That intuitive wisdom for a rational kind of thinking. They both have their place. But what has happened in our society is we tend to give up one for the other. We forget that it is a balance between the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang, as we learn from the Oriental philosophies. I'm not talking about male, female. I'm talking about the giving and the receiving. It is the balance. It is the dance that we are. That is the full expression of God. It is in that feminine aspect, is the compassion, is that healing art, is that power, is that love. And that is what is within. Carl Jung says, you want to get clear on your vision? You can only do so through your own heart. Turning inside to your own heart is what he said. Those who go outside dream. Those who go inside awake. You want to awaken to who you are? You want to awaken to that power and that presence? You've got to remember. It's a powerful story of remembering from some of the Egyptian mythology of Cyrus and Isis. Isis, the powerful, female goddess who can breathe life into things. And their love between Osiris and Isis created Horus, the huge Egyptian god. And Horus, as he became a man, became envious of his mom and dad's love. It wasn't all going towards him. They were sharing their love, and so he's going to do away with his dad. He had his dad murdered. This is not a nice thing, but that's what he did. And he knew the power of that life essence of his mom, the way that she can bring life. So she had his body buried 200 miles away in a different country. And so mom went out and sent people out. They found the dad, and it is through passion, through love, she was able to breathe life back into the corpse. Horus, enraged by the life-giving power of his mom, went again, had his dad knocked off again. You'd think he'd get it by now. Hey, son, this is not a healthy relationship. But, the mythology goes that he had him dismembered into 14 different pieces scattered throughout Egypt. Mom really got ticked off this time, had a whole entourage of people, found all the 14 pieces and brought them back and had it, here's the key, remembered. She remembered through passion, through love. By that memory of his wholeness, she was able to breathe the life back into him because she remembered, she reconnected, she remembered the wholeness. And in our life, what has happened is that we have lost a piece here, and we lost a piece in this relationship, and we lost a piece from that business dealing, and we lost a piece when our kid left home, and all these pieces are out there. Some philosophies talk about soul retrieval. I'm talking about remembering who you are, the wholeness of your being, the aspect that God saw you as when you were created in the beginning, that wholeness that your mom saw you, that you could be, do, and create anything your heart desired. I'm telling you, if you want equal access, it is imperative that you remember who you are and create the space for that to show up. There's a little comic strip of a couple guys looking at a blackboard with a mathematical equation spread out into like 3 distinctive parts. And they were looking at it, and in the second part, between these exquisite symbols, was written, "And now a miracle occurs." And so the one guy looked at the other guy, kind of scratching his head. I wish they could have been a little bit more explicit about that second step. It's like we want the miracle explained to us up front. And what happens is we forget to leave space for the miracle, for the aha. The logical mind takes hold. Where the ancients left space for the miracle to show up, the modern mind is more analytical and theoretical, and it wants to know how it's going to happen. We've got to remember to leave space for the miracle to occur. Remember the movie Shakespeare in Love? I love this part when the owner of the theater wanted to know how the producer was going to make it happen. And he would say, "It's a mystery." "I don't know. It's a mystery." It's like, how's it going to happen? "I don't know." So where the miracle occurs. But you got to remember that miracles are real. I mean, Brian sits here. He said I could share this story. I call him my Viking brother because he has the last name Sorensen. Hey, all right. And when we had our wall up, remember I had everybody write something on the wall? Something you wanted to bust through, your old stuff. We used to have a wall there. You probably forgot that. But last fall, on the last day of the wall, everybody wrote something there, and we went ahead and knocked through all of our blocks. What Brian put up there on the wall was his daughter he hasn't seen since she was about 1 year old. And it's been 11, 12 years since then. And just recently, his teenage daughter contacted him. And a miracle occurs. It's a mystery how it's going to happen. But it can happen. You've got to be willing to pray. A prayer that Goldsmith says, Father, but I'm sure he meant Father, Mother, God, let me see as you see. Yeah. Let me hear as you hear. That's all we need in our prayer. I do not need to tell this order that I'm an integral part of, that guides the universe and the galaxies, that keeps us in place, how to do things. Spirit, you who knows how to create a seed into a flower, let me see as you see. Let me hear as you hear. That's a high enough prayer for me. You know, if you're praying for somebody, let prayer not tell God how to fix that situation, but let them see as you see the wholeness of your being, to remember who I am or to remember who you are. I don't need to tell you. Let me see and remember that I'm an integral part of this divine order that is unfolding itself, that kind of essence that your mom in the beginning saw all those great possibilities for you already established. A little young student asked his teacher, but, you know, how can I be freed? You know, so I could do this. You know, how can I be liberated? And the master teacher said, and who put you in bondage? Who bound you? It's up to you to remember your true essence, your beautiful expression as a child of God, that you are connected. Mother Teresa, she tells the time she picked up one little child off the street, a little 6, 7-year-old girl, brought her into her children's home. They bathed her, gave her some clean clothes, gave her what looked like her first meal in some time. And that evening, the little girl slipped off. They found her again. They brought her back in another day. They cleaned her up, gave her some clean clothes again, and fed her. And that night, she slipped out again. So the third time when they found her, Mother Teresa told one of the sisters, you follow her this time, find out where she's going. And so the sister followed her out to the countryside and saw sitting underneath the tree this little girl with her mom and with her sister. And her mom, all that she had in her little bowl was the alms and a little bit of food that she collected from the street that day. But mom was preparing that food for their meal. For underneath that tree is where they ate. Underneath that tree is where they cooled. Underneath that tree is where they slept. Underneath that tree was home. That little girl loved her mom, and that mom loved her little girl. And it was beautiful. And wherever mom is home. So is mom in your heart? There's a Spanish proverb that says, an ounce of mom is worth a ton of school. Mark Twain said, I know I created a lot of problems for my mother, but I think she enjoyed it. You know, moms are amazing. You know, I sometimes think after one goes through that childbirthing process, what amazes me is that you do it again. For the second one, I don't get that. But then again, I'm a guy, you know. Oh yeah, there's a Jewish proverb that says, a mother knows not what her mother knows not what her children says. In other words, a mother knows more than what her children says. That's it. Mother knows. You don't have to tell mom. Mom knows if you're hurting. Mom knows if you're not being upfront. Man, I would come in late and she'd look at me and I know she knew. And I wouldn't tell her, and I'm not telling you what I was up to. But she knew. You know, there is something that knows. You know, my mom, she taught me 2 great words. I can. You know, I can do anything. She taught me to have faith in my ideas, to look inside myself. You know, I learned to believe in myself because she believed in me. And I know the thing she taught me and showed me was that when you listen not only with your head, but with your heart. And I know when my mom was listening to me, she was listening with her heart. And what I've come to realize now that she's no longer in her world, she's still listening with her heart. Because we learn to communicate at that heart level. That heart connection, it transcends time and space. It transcends present states of consciousness, whether they're clear or not clear, whether they're here or not here. That mom connection is a powerful, powerful thing. I know that my mom now is closer than a phone call, that I'm the one who's had to learn to communicate in a new kind of way, that everyone has equal access, and it is through love. It is through the heart. I can remember my mom when she was getting ready to make her transition. Her last couple of weeks were not the most comfortable. And one of the things I learned was that you may not be able to choose all of your life's experiences, but she showed me how you can choose how you face them. I learned that faith is stronger than fear, and that the love of family and friends is powerful, and also how each day is precious, so precious, to show our love now, to forgive now, and that a blessed child will continue to receive lessons from mom as long as he may live. They're open to that. See, we're connected. Brought us together once, will bring us together again. I don't doubt that. But we're also connected to our spiritual Creator, that life force, that Father, Mother, God presence. And if we can just remember our true heritage, that we are entitled to the richness of our dreams, of that full picture, that the richness of the Spirit is there for us. We just have to remember who we are. Like the prodigal kid, all he had to do was remember. Had to remember who he was, had to remember who his heritage is. And the arms were open, ready to receive him. And so when we are facing a challenge in our life, when we're facing a decision in our life, when we are facing some individuals that are just really rocking our soul in less than a comfortable kind of way, the best, I don't want to say defense, the best kind of prayer is one of an open heart of love. You got a problem? Open heart of love. I love you. Show me. You got a problem with someone? Open heart of love. You got a tough question or decision and you open your heart of love. Let me hear as God hears. Let me see as God sees here. I want equal access to that because what I've got to decide here is tough. Can I come from love? I've got this story that I'd like to conclude with here today. And I know I've read it before, so please indulge me with it. It's about a mom choosing to place her child up for adoption. And I have a very special spot in my heart for adoption. And it's kind of long, so please relax into it. You had your eyes opened a little while ago, but how now you just want to sleep. I wish you would open your eyes and look at me, oh my child, my precious, my angel sent from heaven. This will be the last time we are together. As I hold you close to me and feel your teeny body warm against my own, I look at you, and I look, and I feel as if my eyes can't hold enough of you. For a human being so small, there's a lot of you to look at in such a short time. In a few minutes, they'll come and they'll take you away from me. But now, this is our time together, and you belong to only me. Your cheeks, they're still bruised from your birth. They feel so soft to my fingertips, like the wing of a butterfly. Your eyebrows are tightly clenched in concentration. Are you dreaming? And you have so many eyelashes to count, and yet I want to engrave them all in my mind. I don't want to forget anything about you. Is it all right that you're breathing so rapidly? I don't know anything about babies. Maybe I never will. But I know one thing for sure. I love you with all of my heart. I love you so much that there is no way to tell you. I hope that someday you will understand that I'm giving you away because I love you. I want you to have in your life all the things that I could never have in mine. Safety, compassion, joy, acceptance. I want you to be loved for who you are. Oh, I wish I could squish you back inside of me. I'm not ready to let you go. If I could just hold you like this forever and never have to face tomorrow, would everything be all right? No. I know everything will be only all right if I let you go. I just didn't expect to feel this way. I didn't know you would be so beautiful and so perfect. I feel as if my heart is being pulled from my body right through my skin. I didn't know I would feel so much pain. Tomorrow, your mom and dad are coming to the hospital to pick you up, and you will start your new life. I pray that they will tell you about me, and I know that they will know how brave I've been. I hope they will tell you how much I've loved you, because I won't be around to tell you myself. I will cry every day somewhere inside of me because I will miss you so much. I hope I will see you again someday, but I want you to grow up to be strong and beautiful and to have everything you want. I want you to have a home and a family. I want you to have children of your own someday that are as beautiful as you are. I hope that you will try to understand and not be angry with me. The nurse comes into the room and reaches out her arms for you. Do I have to let you go? I mean, I can feel your heart beating rapidly. You finally open your eyes. You look into my eyes with the trust and innocence, and we lock hearts. And I give you to the nurse, and I feel as if I could die. Goodbye, my baby. A piece of my heart will be with you always and forever. I love you. I love you. I love you. Love is amazing. Love knows the wholeness and can assist us when we hurt. I just want us to know that within our heart we still can connect with that divine presence, with our mom, with whatever can bring us the reassurance that everything is okay, because we are an integral part of a system that loves, loves, loves. God bless us. So I'd like to invite the ushers to come forward as we do take our gift from our heart. Again, a lot of heart and soul and passion. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. Hey, I trust you enjoyed that podcast. It was very exciting to be able to create that and to know that there are people like you all around the world that are observing and integrating these spiritual principles into their life. And so if you enjoyed it, what I'd like to do is encourage you to tell a friend or bring several friends together and watch another one of these podcasts, and then afterwards take some time to talk about the spiritual principles, to talk about the stories and what significance they have and relevance they have in your life. What then happens is it moves to a deeper and deeper level in your world. It becomes real and assists you to create the freedom in your life that your heart and soul so desire. So if you like this, I encourage you to watch it again, but also tune into our website here at seasidecenter.org. There, you can get some of my written material and take a look at it. You can read some of my spiritual prayers. You can even go to our online bookstore and order some of the books. And if you're so moved, what I greatly would appreciate is your financial support, which you could do online at seasidecenter.org. It is support like yours that assists us to be able to continue to do these kinds of gifts for humanity and send it out to the world. Because you know what? We are making a difference with this spiritual message. And because of support like yours, people are being touched in the farthest reaches of this planet, as well as our backyard, more than we could ever begin to realize. So I thank you from the fullness of my heart for making a difference.